Hello and welcome back to Ebenezer Cottage Garden. In today's video we're going to have a little tour around and see how the garden's getting on in this very strange summer that we're having. But you've just caught me out here checking over my tomato plants, seeing if any side shoots need picking out. This is my new greenhouse, so it's all quite exciting. The first season of growing in here really. Still a few panes of glass to get in. I know those of you that have been watching my recent videos have known that there's been this ongoing project. But you know, I can grow in it now and it's well underway. Tomatoes are one of those plants that can worry you at the start of the season. I mean, these definitely got a little bit too cold. You could tell because the plants themselves went a bit purple. They were stunted in growth. They were looking a bit seedy and wimpy. But they've soon thickened up. They're nice and green now. We've got plenty of flowers and fruits. And it looks like we're going to get a good crop eventually off them, even if the weather's not been that great outside of the greenhouse. At least in here we've got our microclimate and these can just crack on. But what's been really interesting about this greenhouse is that I had so many things self-seed from last season. So there's fennel popping up everywhere, nasturtiums, all these things that I'm just leaving in the ground. I am editing a bit, taking a few plants out and leaving some in, but I'm quite happy just to let them grow in here and see what happens. But before I can really leave this space for today, I need to get on and weed a few bits. The space that you can see here in front of me is basically a temporary bed, and I can see it's full of weeds. That's because I've been ignoring it a bit whilst I've been building that other greenhouse, but we have got a nice crop of broad beans and also some peas to gather today. So I'm thinking I'm going to harvest these up and then clear the space. I've got some other plants to plant out here, but let's see what sort of crop we've got. Now that I'm in here picking the broad beans, you can definitely see that the aphids have had a lot of fun this year. There's some good slug damage as well, but amongst there's some decent pods. So I'm quite happy with this, considering I hardly put any effort into maintaining them, plonked them in the ground, and we've got a nice harvest. Well, this bed's also got a few weeds in it, but it's doing well. The lettuce has really picked up after a slow start, and same with the Swiss chard. If you're not growing Swiss chard, definitely give it a go. I think it's a really undervalued crop. It's a bit like spinach, but I think you get a lot more of it. But yeah, I'll be picking some of this, I think, as well. So I'm going to take some inside and have it to eat a little bit later on. Those of you that have followed me for a few years will know that, generally speaking, I do quite well with alliums. I get some good garlic, some good onions as well out the ground. I put a lot of effort in sowing them from seed. I've got some sets in here in the mix just to change things up a bit, but this year has been really problematic. I'm not seeing so many problems with allium leaf miner. The issue for me is that the bulbs, or at least some of them, are starting to rot in the ground. I think that's partly because of all the rain that we've had, but also I'm seeing signs of white rot set in, so that's a real problem for growing alliums. I think this bed, I don't think I'm going to be able to grow in it for a number of years, alliums anyway. I can probably get some brassicas, different things like that going on, but the alliums are going to have to move elsewhere next year. I'll see if I can find one with white rot so I can show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so I'm having to get in quite close here, excuse me Mr. Fennel, to show you the signs of white rot. So the first real telltale sign is this, leaves starting to yellow. There can be other causes of this, various different fungal things, but I'm pretty sure it's white rot in this case. The next sign, and these are spring onions, yeah, there we go. It will just lift out of the ground really easily, and that's because the bottom of the bulb is rotting and the roots are rotting away too with white rot. Let's have a look at it close up. Hopefully it will focus and you'll see it. That's it there. All this horrible white stuff. These need to come out of the ground. They need to be burnt, thrown away somehow. They can't go on the compost heap. Some bits can probably be eaten if you really wanted to, but I'm not short on spring onions, so I'm just going to get rid of these. But this is a bad sign. It means, like I say, I'm not going to be able to grow alliums in this bed for a while. Having said that, I've got some alliums that are racing away, really bulking up now, ready for harvest. So let's just hope those ones don't get caught by the white rot. Well, I hope you've enjoyed watching today's video. I'm going to stop gardening for a bit and go off and vote in the general election today, which is exciting. But yeah, things are picking up out here now. Let's hope the weather improves. I mean, things can only really get better, can't they, considering the summer we've had. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed. Do like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.